Hey guys, what's up? This is Joel Evan from Joel Evan Coaching. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you got to be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson. We're episode 346 with my hombre, my bro Chacho, my professor, Joel Evan. Joel you think I have energy? Joel is like the Energizer Bunny, man, but with biceps. The guy is a rock star. He gets after it, and he's obsessed with helping you reach your full human potential. I walked away from this interview just ready to rock, to attack my day, to burn the boats for things that hold me back, those limiting beliefs. I got to tell you, you have to break out your notebooks or your digital note taker, because I had like 3 pages of notes. Joel is absolutely phenomenal. He's dropping a book, and he's just I think we're just brothers from different mothers. So if you like this episode, please hit the like button or subscribe, or maybe even leave a review. It really helps with sponsors and affiliates. So without further ado, here's my really good friend, Coach Joel Evan. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I got introduced to my good friend Joel through our mutual connection, Deanna Krempel, who is just a fantastic friend of mine. We do a lot of speaking together, working together, and she said, you have to meet Joel Evan, not Evans, Joel Evan, rock star coach. And the thing that's, not only is he an awesome coach squad, but he was a hero, a first responder for like 15 years. And then he really, those people go through a ton of PTSD, a ton of, a mental strife. And Joel kind of really caught it before he got there too far into that part by going into, a holistic and health. And he became a fantastic, highly sought over holistic and health coach. He helps busy and motivated professionals get healthy and lose weight and just get their life on track. He's also the host of the Hack Life podcast, which I can't wait to go rock the mic with him on there. And he's really focuses on mindset and alternative health. And his motto is live healthy, live happy, and you can't get any better than that. And Joel, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, Joel, what's your favorite color and why?
Blue. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know why it's my favorite color, but I can tell you, going back in the day, Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle, was blue, and that was my favorite color. So he was the leader, cool. By the way. Leonardo, Katana Blade, leader of the squad. And I think there you go. I've just been always gravitated to leadership, and maybe that's why. I don't know, but blue sticks out for me.
That's awesome. I used to watch it in the cheesy like 1990 version. Leonardo was always my jam too. And it's funny you say blue. I mean, I am looking at the Atlantic Ocean, so I get the blue every morning. But you're in Boise, man. You're in Idaho, and they have the Boise State, and their turf is blue. The Smurf turf there. It's really cool, man. And I actually got to experience a game there. It was like 2 degrees, but still I had the time of my life. But Joel, man, let's get into the roots, bro. Like how you started. You're like me, very highly energetic. We border on that ADSD or whatever they call it, where we're all over the place, and you and I talk. We're like, yes. Blah, blah, blah. So but let's get into your roots, man. Let's hear about you and have me shut up for a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to just talk about the energy, let's go right there, because I think, when I was 18 years old, I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was graduating high school. My parents were getting divorced, and I had all these friends. I went to a private high school. My friends, literally, I had like 5 good friends. They went to Stanford. 2 of them went to Stanford, Cal, UC Davis, and UCLA. Do you know where Joel was going? Absolutely nowhere. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I almost went into the military because I'm like, well, you know what? I'm passionate about my country, and I was always kind of like patriotic, and I'm like, that'll be fun. I can do that. I grew up with my father was in law enforcement. My grandfather was a San Francisco Police Department officer. So I thought, maybe I'll do that. And then I backed out at the last second because I said, well, all my friends are going to college. They must know something that I don't know. So I'll just go to the JC, and that'll buy me time. And so I did. And one of the things, though, that I'll talk about energy was I started out at 18 years old. I started selling Cutco knives. And that is a time that I really think, when I look back and I'm like, well, why do you have so much energy? Why are you so optimistic? Why are you so positive? And I think it really was when I became a Cutco salesman, because I was taught at an early age, relatively early, attitude is everything. And I was being bombarded by Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy. I name those names right now. Nobody know, you know those names, but there's a lot. I was on a podcast the other day and they're like, I can't, dude, you're just my guy because I can't believe you're naming these people. Nobody talks about them anymore.
Right.
And those were the guys that I was listening to, bombarding my subconscious and learning about attitude is everything. And from that day on, I just remember I could be having the worst day ever. And you asked me, Joel, how you doing? If the day was just okay or it was all right, you wouldn't know. I'd be like, great, it's an amazing day.
Fantastic,
because I want to continue to, it's that kind of NLP, I guess, perspective.
I want
to, you wouldn't know it, but I want to keep reinforcing like my day is great. It's going to get better.
Sure.
So I think that's when you talk about roots and energy, like that's where it kind of stems from. 25 years old, I got hired by the, I ended up going into law enforcement. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had always like this business background, entrepreneurial spirit, but I didn't know how to do it. There was no one in my family or no one to kind of cater that energy. So I fell into the trap that many of us did. Went to college, got a degree, thought I was supposed to get out, get a good job, have a white picket fence, 401k, pension, retire at 50, and live the good life. That's what I was told. And so that's what I was just programmed to follow that playbook. Got out of college and didn't want to work as a police officer. My dad, like I said, was a police officer. I said, I'm going to be much better than my dad. I'll do way more than him. I'm going to go work for the FBI. And guess what? It takes a little bit longer to get hired by the FBI.
A little bit,
A little bit, yeah. So local law enforcement at the time was suffering. They were hiring. And my dad said, I think you would really like it. Try it out. And worst case scenario, you have all this experience. Go work for the FBI later, which was great advice. So 25 years old, I get hired by the Oakland Police Department. Anybody that knows Oakland, California, that is top 5, dead or alive, the most dangerous cities, always murder capital, robbery, very high volume crime. And actually they say, cool study done out of the FBI showing 3 years in the Oakland Police Department as an officer, and you have worked about an 18-year career anywhere else. So that's where I started out. And, that also then led me to San Francisco PD, where I worked for the last 8.5 years. Do you want to should I tell everybody what happened just recently?
Yeah, man, let's go. This is the story that sets it up for sure.
Okay, perfect. So worked for San Francisco for about 8.5 years. And, during that time, really, I was just becoming disenfranchised with police work. And I still think it's one of the most noble professions anybody can do. But the bottom line is I felt like I was being weaponized for political reasons and just a pawn for everything. And I just didn't feel connected to it anymore. And I think having my kids and just a lot of other things, I realized I can do more in this world and I want to do more. And well, lo and behold, in October 2021, the San Francisco Police Department gave me an ultimatum. They said, if you don't get this product, I don't want to get censored. I don't want you to get censored, brother.
Sure.
If you don't get the juice, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, this product that is safe and effective, you are fired. I said, well, you're going to have to fire me because I don't align with that. And that's not who I say I am. And so I really feel like that was my opportunity. And I had in the background been starting a health coaching business and doing things in the background. But really that experience is what I feel like I was guided by either by source or God. And it was like, this is the time to burn the boats. And this is the time you need to lean into it. And so I did. I was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Not anymore, brother. Jumped all into it.
That's awesome, man. And the coaching side, that you work with people in more groups or one-on-one, brother?
Right now it's one-on-one. Okay. So, my coaching program was getting filled up and I was like, man, I had to create a course rapidly and go into the group coaching setup. At the same time, I kind of backed away at the moment from I'm still doing the coaching, but I backed away. And I'm actually kind of recalibrating. And so I have a book that I'm working on that's got to drop at the top of next year. And so because of that, because of the volume right now of people coming into my coaching business, I'm just less. But so right now I have the ability to work one-on-one, but it won't be long. So I'm doing one-on-one and that's going to phase into a hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid version of one-on-one and group.
Yeah, I do a lot more one-on-ones just because I just feel like I'm more connected. A group, I just feel I'm a little bit distant. I do have one group, but the one-on-one. So, I'm right there with you on the energy on that. So when you're maybe starting to work with someone one-on-one, Joel, is there any secret sauce, if you don't mind sharing, that maybe helps them find in their discovery period now, that maybe help them find their blind spot?
Yeah, love that. So I always, like you introduced me, I always talk about mindset. I'm big on health, but obviously, like if your mindset, I know many great healers that have healed people just by putting a different idea in their head. And that's crazy, right? People can't even fathom that. But I've seen people heal from endometriosis, fibromyalgia, all these things.
Sure.
And it wasn't a magic pill. It was just like they touched them in a certain way and boom, like it was a chiropractic adjustment. How could that possibly happen? Well, I can tell you, if you understand high level healing, there's some things that can be happening in the background. But one of the big things that I've seen a lot, brother, is, people not being aligned, again, talking about being aligned with their truth, and they don't even know what that is. Just like me, they're being programmed by school, ideas, beliefs from their family, and all these things. And next thing you know, they're in their 40s, 30s, and they're just living this life that they don't know why they're even here. And so one of the biggest exercises that I have people do that really just makes a lot of shifts happen is the perfect day exercise, which I think a lot of people have heard of, but believe it or not, a lot of people haven't. And I've seen people's lives change dramatically. I've seen people start businesses. I've seen people move to different states and move to different places because the perfect idea exercise, let me just explain it real quick. Please. The idea is you wake up tomorrow, we snap your fingers, right? You wake up and tomorrow, Scott, you're living your perfect day. Like, what is that? Like, what does that look like?
Immerse into it, yeah.
Yeah, like what does it look like when you wake up in the morning? I ask people, who are you waking up next to? They usually get a good chuckle there. I'm like, well, I mean, that's something to think about, right? Like what life, what life are you living right now, right? I mean, and a lot of us, we stay in these relationships for comfort and just for ease, but it's not serving you. And so again, who are you waking up to? What's your breakfast like? Where are you located in the world? And it just all these amazing ideas. What are you doing for a living? What would you really want to be doing? Because most people are working in their 9-to-5s or whatever they're doing, just like me. They're not satisfied. Again, it's just comfortable. Yeah, you make good money. You're making $200,000 or whatever you think is good money, but you're not fulfilled. Right. And so that exercise really will show you a huge shift into how you're living your current reality and what you really want.
Dude, I love that exercise because you as a coach are really listening with your neck, you're leaning in. That way you can really help them build a game plan because we're coaches, not so much consultants, where consultants will tell you what to do. You're actually, because everybody knows what they want, right, Joel, but they don't know how to talk themselves into it. So when you set up that perfect day, it's like, dude, you can set up a game plan like a coach to where when they have that idea through the question, that's freaking awesome, dude. So I appreciate you saying that. So, Joel, maybe while you're in this discovery period and you're working with somebody, is there any good question that you wish that they would ask you as the coach, but never do?
Wow. Is there any questions I wish they would ask me? Now you're talking about when their people are just reaching out.
Period. We're still sitting down here. If you're starting to coach me, I'd be like, bro, what's your lineage, man? Tell me your story. Tell me that's the coach. What I want to, because you're a sports fan like myself, and these coaching trees that come down. Like anyone that coached under Bill Parcells, right? We're gonna probably be a solid coach,
Yeah.
But like I might ask lineage, I might ask you to tell me your story. You would tell me it just how you did 3 minutes ago. So I just wonder, is there any other questions, man, that you wish they would ask you?
I think the big one is really what you hit. I mean, I think that would be a big one. Like, what's your lineage? And then the other one would be like, what's your why? Like, why are you doing this? And actually, I had a coach ask me that just the other day, and it's like, Scott, like our whys, like our whys are always. I mean, I don't want to say they're always changing, but sometimes even I have a whiteboard here,
right?
Yeah, they evolve, they change, right? And I have different passions and different joys, and actually, it was just as a guy who's like pretty in tune with this, it kind of took me off. I was like, man, that's good. Wow, what is it that I really what drives me right now? And I told him transformation. I said seeing people transform, right? And I can just say, like, even when I am in my darkest moment, or just like, man, it's like nothing's working, the business is doing terrible, or whatever, the family, everyone hates me. I'll pull up a testimonial that I have, like a video testimonial from a client. And I see one of them, and it reminds me, it connects me, like that's why you're doing this. That's
brings
why.
You back, man.
Yeah.
You see, that's awesome, Joel. Thank you. So as a coach, and I don't want you to think on this, I want you to tell me, what's your strengths?
Obsession. I'm obsessed, dude. I'm obsessed. And just resilience, really. I was talking to a great friend. I have to introduce you to George Ryan. He's he's a captain with the LA Police Department. And I told, we were talking last night, there was a huge win in a huge litigation? No, I don't know. A legal win. A legal win.
There we go.
happened last night. And we were just talking, and I said to him, I was like, I never really thought about this, like what I did, what I stood for in that moment. I said, a lot of people laid down their swords. A lot of people just, even the toughest guys, I don't care who they were, like the toughest SWAT guys, whatever, they laid down their swords and they gave in. And I said, I never really thought about it, but I didn't. And I held my ground, and I said, not many would do that. And he's like,
dude,
yeah, man, you're like the top of the 1%. And it just made me realize, like, this is a different game that I'm playing. And I'm not trying to, stroke my ego or just talk myself up.
Please do,
it was just
bro.
a kind of it was a reality.
I'll stroke it for you, bro.
That sounded weird, about
squad. That sounded weird. but no, I feel you, man. How much do you appreciate that strength of being obsessed with helping people transform?
I mean, dude, it just drives me, man. Like, I mean, I think going back even to just my mom when she had breast cancer, and that was another reason that started my journey, because I felt crippled that the people closest to me, I knew all these things about health, but I couldn't help them. I didn't understand systems and protocols, how to get them better. And that bothered me. And so that obsession led me actually to getting all these naturopathic certifications, because I wanted to know the why. I wanted to know the root cause. And so, I mean, just driven by it every day, man. I mean, I think the only thing I can think about bad about the obsession is that I'm a dog. I'll work every day. I'll work on the weekends. And so my wife has to bring me back and be like, it's time to spend time
awesome. Have a support system like that.
So, yeah.
What's her name again?
My wife's name is Nini. Her actual name is Gina, but she's Latina. And so Latin women, if you know anything about Latin women, guys, or I'm sorry, Latin culture, they have like 5 different nicknames. And
that
happens to just be one of her 5 nicknames. So yeah.
It's both of my jits coaches are Latino. One of them is a woman, Tubby Aliquin. She's ranked number 4 in the world, and her name's Tubby, but she's 115 pounds. It's just kind of the funny stuff. So
yes,
how about weaknesses, man?
Weaknesses, I would say.
You know them and you work through them, but what's one glaring maybe that you fight with every day, brother?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. I just hired a coach. I just got off the phone with a coach
yesterday. Good for you.
Absolutely, brother. And people, again, that's the biggest problem with coaches. We think we can't be coached. So I hired a coach to be a better dad, to be a better father, to be to rise up. And awesome, that's my biggest struggle right now, I think, is being an entrepreneur. You have to be somewhat crazy in the head. You really do, because it's not, you get punched in the face every day, and it's not a 9 to 5 where you just check in and check out and life is good. No. But there's things happening in the business, and you're going up and down like a roller coaster. And to weather those, you have to be crazy and obsessed, like I talked about. But part of that obsession, sometimes I'm not present, and I'm not present with my kids, and I know that. And so, because I'm just so busy and I'm so calculating, like, what's the next move I'm going to do? And so that I know is a weakness of mine, and that's what I'm trying to work on. And so I again, hired a coach. I'm super excited. This guy's a very well-known, he has a major podcast. He's a very well-known guy. And I'm very confident, like, I need a tribe of men, of strong men, and people to learn from and get better. And I know it's going to happen.
Thank you for being freaking transparent on that, Joel. A lot of people will say, sometimes I don't ask the right question. Dude, you went deep, bro. And I really, really appreciate that. So, Joel, have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Long time ago. Yeah.
Right. It's almost coming up on 40 years, right? Let's get in that.
I'm 40, DeLorean. So there you go.
Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly, man. Let's go back to the double deuce, the 22-year-old Joel. What kind of knowledge nuggets would you drop on him? Not so much to change anything, because you learned a lot in your journey, but to maybe help him shorten the learning curve, blast through and level up just a little bit quicker.
Really, what I said in the beginning, man, it's beliefs. I would have told him to just to really question his beliefs, his upbringing, what his thinking, what is success? What is success? Right. What is success to you? Because again, what success was to me was what my parents programmed me and told me, which was get a good job, get married, get a pension, have a nice career, and retire. And I don't think any of that's true. I'm living my highest version of myself, I think, in this moment at 40 years old. And that was, I had to actually, here's the crazy thing. I had to go through a lot. I had to go through a lot of struggle and a lot of pain. And so I think that's even another thing I would say is, hey, man, on the other side of this is greatness and wisdom.
You can share that journey, man, with flexing your hustle muscle, getting out there and doing it with your clients, which helps them resonate, man. I really love that. So, Joel, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and your death date. Hopefully it's a bazillion years down the road, brother, because this world needs you. But how do you want Joel's dash remembered?
Somebody just asked me this the other day, not something I really thought about, but and now you're asking me. I would say the big thing for me is I want people to know that I help change their lives in some
Yeah.
way, in a really positive way.
You know
That's
what
the
I
key
think
for
is going
me.
to be on your tombstone, which I'll probably be. I'm 10 years older than you, so hopefully I'm done gone. Maybe I can look down from above. But I think that it's going to say Joel did it for the intention, not the attention. Because I see your social, I see your stuff. You're not screaming Joel, 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 Joel. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
dig that, dude. And what you're telling me, how you really dig in deep with your clients, I think that's what you really do, man. And that's fantastic. And Joel, what do you think people misunderstand the most about you?
Ooh. I think I think people think probably that I'm perfect or that I have it all together, right? He has it all together. This guy, right? Especially on
Ooh,
social
we're like
media.
good actors, man.
Yeah,
Love
man.
it.
Like I'm on social media, and they always say, right? People on social media are always just pumping it up and saying the
Yeah,
good. Part of the reason why I do say I want to highlight the good is because I want to put out that positivity. I want that to continue
right.
to resonate because the more you focus on that, the more there's
Yeah.
that energy is going to flow. But I don't have it all together. There's a lot of things I'm trying to figure out, but I tell you what, I won't quit, and that is for
You're a
sure. And
dog,
so I'm
man.
gonna you
You're a
you will not
dog.
see me quit. And so that's
Love
what
it.
but I think the misunderstanding might be is that, hey, he has it all figured out. I don't.
Dude, I love that transparency too, Joel, because I put out my quotes of the day, blah, blah, blah. And every once in a while I'll be like, dude, I need prayers. You know what I'm saying? I'll just throw it out there. Not like I don't do the mile long story. No offense to the people that do. I
Yeah.
just like need prayers, dude. I need to feel the vibes, And I'll get more support from people with that because of being and giving the good. Yeah. Are you seeing that out there too? The more you give the good, the more people there support when you're in that situation.
It's so true. And like I'll throw out some very high level educational post on the cancer and this. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be so good. And people could care less. I
Right.
share a story about like and to me, I don't even want to share this story because I feel like it's egotistical, but I'll just do it because I realize it's important. It's something that I'm starting to learn is that I need to ask for help. I'm always, and I just got a chance to sit down with Dave Meltzer, and he said, Joel, there's two things I ask myself every day. One is who can I help and who can help me? I never ask who can help me. And that's
Bro.
something I'm really trying to get out better
Huge.
because he says it and it's true. The more someone can help you, like Scott, if you can help me, I'm
Mhm.
going to appreciate more in my life. But guess
Yeah.
what? I'm going to bring it back to you. You're going to appreciate because
Bro.
so it's just, yeah,
So
it's
many
just, I'm so
people
amazing.
talk about give, 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 right? We at Time to Shine today, our whole team is give, give, give till it hurts so good, right? But you open the reciprocation, man. Like I had plants in my room, and it's like those plants wouldn't be living if it wasn't for me breathing out carbon dioxide for them to breathe in the whole world. So there's a give and take that's naturally occurring, but we block ourselves off from that. I love how you put that, man. So let me ask you something. Anything keep you up at night?
Projects. I got brother, I got so much stuff going on right now.
Dude,
So
deep
I've
down,
got,
you and I are both like perfectionists, man. It's
I,
like we want to nail it, but we also know that the more we strive for perfection, we'll hit greatness. And it keeps me up at night too, dude.
I've
It's
got,
funny.
there's that famous guy who talked from good to great. I can't, Jim Collins. He
Oh,
says, if
yeah.
you have more than three priorities, you have none. And I really do believe that, right? Because the more your brain just can't focus on more than three. Well, right now, if I look at my whiteboard, I have about six, and I know that's a problem. But man, I don't know how to turn it off. Like just that's that
Right.
entrepreneurial mind. I've got a book coming out. I've got a product that I'm looking at developing with another guy, and just
You
some
rock
that
your
that
podcast. You got a lot of stuff going on, man.
podcast, yeah. And so
Yeah.
it's just
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. So let's take out of this equation this question, Joel. Anything electronical like computers or cell phones or anything, but what are three things Joel can't live without?
Ooh.
And it can be anything, just nothing technological.
Nothing technological. Okay. I would say, is it going to be cheesy if I say like my family? Is that cheesy? Is
No,
that a
I
cheesy
hope
one? Or
you
are you
say
allowed to?
number one, brother. You better.
Okay.
Nina's gonna kick your ass.
Okay, good. I was glad that could be one. I didn't know if that was going to be too cheesy or not.
No.
You know what's crazy is too is like during this journey that I've gone on and just going from like losing a steady income and just leaning into this whole process is really just seeing who my true friends are and stuff. And then there's a lot of people that turned their back on me and said, you're an ignorant person for saying some of the things you're saying. And these are close friends and family. And so it's really interesting. And in this process too, just having my family throughout this whole process, it's been
absolutely,
you realize there's that sense of gratitude, right? So, okay. So that would be one. I would definitely say something that has to do with my mind. So I'm going to say something like a journal, like the 5-minute journal, something to recalibrate my mind, because that's all you really need. You don't need. I tell everybody, you don't need any of these stupid hacks. I've got a sauna over here. I have an $18,000 stim machine that I use for physical therapy on people. You don't need any of that, man. If you can control what's in your mind, you can do anything.
Absolutely.
And that's the $18,000 hack right there. So it would definitely be something like that controls my mind. And then, we were talking about this before. I'm just going to say this just because it's on the tip of my mind is maybe essential oils. I'm into that. And if I can't have, something, I'm going to need, I'm a big natural health guy. So if I can have something to use to maintain my health, and I can carry it anywhere, let's go with that.
I love it, man. I love it. And I'm going to add a fourth for you as community. I think you and I are part of our oxygen as community, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why you and I thrived during COVID, because we continue to build a community no matter how if it had to be virtual, we had to do it. You know what I'm saying? I met Deanna who connected us through adding her to my community during that time. No, I love that, bro. So
I launched my podcast December 2019, unbeknownst to me.
Say that again. December what?
December 2019. I launched my podcast.
What date?
It was like the 31st. Like I did it like the day of like New Year's, the first episode launched.
Mine was December 19th and 19th.
Dude,
no shit, dude. Yeah.
And my thing was I was only going to do in-person interviews. Well, that was a bad idea with COVID. But dude, I did as much as I could in California, and we did all these. And that was a bad place to be at the time. If anybody knows about the pandemic. And you're right, man.
I love it, man. I love it. So, time to shine today, podcast Varsity Squad. We are back, and Joel, you and I are going to definitely hook up. We're going to rock stages. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to probably go through these questions. Just over a brain grenade or protein shake or whatever, man. We'll probably spend 15-20 minutes on each one. But today you got 5 seconds with zero, and I mean zero explanations. Okay. They can all be answered that way. Ready to level up?
Let's go.
Do it. Joel, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Gratitude. Gratitude is the highest form of vibration.
Beautiful. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Subconscious reprogramming in the morning, every morning.
So you see me walking down the street, man, like Fergie's not vibing good, man. He looks like he's in his doldrums. What book might you hand me to level me up?
The Rays of Dawn by Dr. Thurman Fleet.
Yeah, you go. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
The fire emoji.
Beautiful. Nicknames growing up?
Jojo or Joel, yeah. Joe, yeah.
Love it. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Chess. No, checkers. Sorry, checkers.
Checkers. I was going to say, man, we're the ADHD type. Checkers on chance. Go-to ice cream flavor.
Go-to ice cream flavor, chocolate chip and vanilla.
I love it. There's a sandwich called the Jojo, man. Build that sandwich for me.
Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of meat, mustard, no mayo, absolutely no mayo, and some type of sourdough bread.
You can throw some man candy on it, a little bacon.
Oh yeah, thank you. I said lots of meat, so for sure it's roast beef, bacon, mustard. Yeah,
beautiful. Favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
One is my church, and then the second one is I just partnered with B1G1, and so I pick. They're a great organization online. Buy one get one is kind of like the thing, but you can partner with multiple charities, and so I will pick different ones. That's awesome, routinely. So that's
awesome. And the last question, and you can elaborate on this, but a little bit. But what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s for sure,
dude. We're gonna throw down, be some good times here. So, Joel, how can we help, or how can we find you, brother?
Yeah, check me out, joelevancoaching.com. I'm on Instagram a lot at joelevancoaching, or check out the Hacked Life podcast. Guys, I love to connect with people, man. I, like you said, tribe, community. I run my Instagram right now still. So if you shoot me a DM, it's me. I promise.
Love it.
And so, yeah, that's the best way to reach out to me. I'm also actually telling people, Scott, because I love Instagram because it's been a great venture for me to connect with a lot of people. But bottom line is, I get censored a lot, and that platform could take me down any minute. So if people could just go to my website, sign up for my email, that's just the best way I can actually
I'm signed up.
contact
Absolutely, man.
with people in the future. Yeah,
and just get over to joelevancoaching.com. And actually, before you even try to leave his page, he has a really nice pop-up. So make sure you put your email address in there, squad, and you're going to get some fantastic stuff. He does get censored. I get censored. It's just it's part of it. So how about this book, dude? What's going on? Like in a brief synopsis, because I do want to add it into the show notes. I think by the time this drops, it might be ready. And I can't wait for my signed copy too.
You got that right, brother. Yeah, the book's going to be really what my journey has been over the last year and a half of helping busy professionals lose weight holistically. I mean, I'm going deep into it, into the mindset, into the detox. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the detox. What are you talking about? Liver, gallbladder. So I'm going to be going into all of that and why I see it's so important. And then I'm going to throw in some of those biohacks and some of those fun things that I like to do. We get into sleep, recovery, habits, and really like what I think on a high level. Let's stop talking about calories in, calories out. I know some fantastic coaches that do that and they get great results, and I understand why it works, and good for them. Keep doing it. But I work with a lot of professionals who they have kids, they have a family, they have a mortgage. They're not counting calories and they just don't have the time, nor do they want to. And there's a way to really create this holistic
They want to
balance.
feel good with what they put in their body. I
100%.
love it. And I understand that we kind of talked a little bit off mic that you're going to offer a free half hour of power to a lucky listener, or just really anybody that maybe want to opt in and have a nice little conversation with you, and tell us a little bit about what they can expect with that.
Yeah, anybody, I'm ready. Listen, go sign up to the email. There's actually a nice, if you go to my Instagram, the profile, you can sign up, and I'm giving like a free, like my free diet cheat list, cheat sheet that I give this to my private wellness clients. So this is a really good one. This isn't like some cheapo freebie. It'll really give you like a blueprint of like how to structure meals and kind of like the blueprint, I think, to overall health and weight loss. And then, yeah, any of your listeners that want to jump on a 30-minute call for me for free, I will give you, I promise you will walk away in 30 minutes for free with a blueprint for health and optimization, and kind of have a roadway and a path of where you want to go.
I love that, bro. And just do me one last solid. It's very generous, and thank you, brother. Do me one last solid and leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us and internalize and take action on.
The big thing that I tell everybody is aggressively take imperfect action. I wouldn't be here if I didn't do that every single day. I'm wondering, should I take this? Should I do this? People are sitting on the sidelines right now wondering if they should put out a certain post or something. And the bottom line is there are people that are dying. Literally, there are people that are dying and falling asleep crying because they need your help, and your ego is getting in the way from you actually putting out that post or putting out that offer that we just talked about, that offer to serve. So go out there and serve, aggressively take imperfect action, and you will see some amazing results.
That's beautiful. And thank you so much. And squad, we had an awesome conversation, a free masterclass with my good friend Joel Evan here. You know, he's 18 years old. He's watching his friends go to Stanford, watching him to go to these colleges. He went really nowhere at first. And that resonated with me so much that I hopped into the military because I had nowhere to go. But, you know, I saw that. Me and Joel are kind of brothers of different mothers, man. You know, we were not sure what to do, but he understands that attitude is everything. There's no excuses for having good energy. And the way you can do that is by being grateful for what you have and wanting to give it, but also be open to reciprocate. He mentioned the Cortez burning the bridges and really started to lean into his challenges. You know, he has a perfect day exercise. You know, he wants, and I'd love you to get with Joel for that 30-minute, you know, half hour of power. And I'm sure he's going to probably break it down with you with a perfect day exercise, who you're waking up to, the location you're waking up, your eating, your movement. Joel will get you there. If you're starting to work with the coach, Joel reminds us to say, you know, ask them their why. Why are they doing that? You know, I've said it before, you know, Joel's doing it for the intention, not the attention. You know, he's planting seeds that he's probably planting trees that he's probably never going to sit in the shade of because of how much he gives, you know, because he's obsessed with helping you with your transformation. He doesn't want you to buy into your negative beliefs. He wants you to challenge them. And if you don't know how, like my good friend Leah Woodford would say, get your asking gear. Ask for that help. And that's people like Joel are available. He reminded us something about little Jim Collins. If you have more than 3 priorities, then you really have none. So really get a coach. Help set up that game plan for priorities. Make that coach Joel. Again, I think I'm going to name this episode Leaning Into Your Dream Life or Leaning Into Your Good Life, because that's what Joel does every day. He leans in. And lastly, he wants you to aggressively take imperfect action. That's exactly what my good friend Joel does. He levels up his health. He levels up his wealth. He's humble. He's hungry. He's earned his varsity squad letter here at Time to Shine today. Brother, I absolutely love your guts, and I mean that with everything, every eon of me. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you so much, man.
You bet. Chat soon.
Yep.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.